Good evening, you're watching The Last Word. I'm Sanjana. 30 days. 30 days, 4 tragedies and over 50 deaths. This is the reality of the national capital. Not a small city, not an underdeveloped town, but Delhi. The national capital that has become a city of illegalities and a city steeped in corruption. Now this morning, a powerful blaze ripped through a 3-story residential building in Rohini, killing 9 people. Now of those 9 people, 3 were children. One as young as 6 months old. The ground floor of the building housed a godown for clothes, while the other 3 floors were residential. What's eerily common between this fire and the one at Anaj Mandi 2 weeks ago? The lapses. No clearances, one exit, illegal constructions. Here's also what's common, and sadly so. The political blame game that broke out then, and the same thing, viewers, the exact same thing that has happened even today. Take a look.
तो इस पूरे दुखद हादसे के अंदर 9 लोगों की डेथ हुई है और जलने से एक की हुई है, बाकी 8 लोग धुएं की वजह से सबकी बताया जा रहा है कि डेथ हुई है और 3 लोग अभी हॉस्पिटल में भर्ती हैं। तो उसमें भी बर्न इंजरीज नहीं बताई जा रही, ज़्यादातर धुएं की प्रॉब्लम बताई जा रही है। तो इसकी जांच के आदेश दे दिए गए हैं कि भी इसकी जांच की जाए और किस तरह से हुआ है। देखिए दिल्ली के अंदर ना बड़े ड्यूअल सिस्टम है जो कमर्शियल एक्टिविटीज़ को सारा एमसीडी कंट्रोल करती है। जितनी भी एक्टिविटीज होती हैं उनको लाइसेंस भी एमसीडी दे देती है, शॉप लाइसेंस भी जो होता है वो एमसीडी देती है। तो दिल्ली में बड़ा सिस्टम बड़ा अजीब सा है। दिल्ली के अंदर कुछ चीज़ें डीडीए के पास हैं, कुछ चीज़ें केंद्र सरकार के पास हैं, कुछ एमसीडी के पास हैं। तो इसके अंदर हमारा रोल था आग बुझाने का। दिल्ली सरकार की ओर से फायर डिपार्टमेंट हमारे पास है, हमारा डिपार्टमेंट टाइम से पहुंचा।
अब ये दुर्घटना फिर से हमारे आंख के सामने है, मन बहुत दर्द में है। मैं अभी किसी को इस तरह से दोषी नहीं ठहराना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन जो भी दोषी हों उन पर कार्रवाई क्यों नहीं कर रही है प्रदेश सरकार, ये एक चिंता की बात है। ये पता नहीं क्या हो गया है आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार को, ये आते ही पहले दोषारोपण करती है। आपकी सरकार है, आपको पूरे दिल्ली को सुरक्षित रखना आपकी जिम्मेदारी है। आपके पास फायर के लाइसेंस दिए जाते हैं, आपके पास सब कुछ व्यवस्था होनी चाहिए।
Well, you expect the administration to be a little more sensitive than what they are. I'm sure, I don't know, it's not a time to pass blame on anyone, but it's unfortunate that the MCD, which should be looking into these things and giving licenses. Secondly, you look at these open wires, electric wires that are going, which have to be seen by the Delhi government. And we just saw a few weeks ago what happened on Rani Jhansi Road. 40 people died. Anaj Mandi. And now, mostly there are poor people coming in from UP and Bihar who come and work here in inhuman conditions. And I'm sure responsibility should be immediately fixed on those who have been careless as far as these matters are concerned. And that's the most unfortunate part, that none of them were suspended or terminated from their jobs. The question is that they earn a lot of money from here. There's a lot of corruption that is involved. Hence, they are not giving licenses. Once the licenses are given to these people, after whatever the norms are, they see the norms, and then you give the license. If they do that, where will they get the money from? So this has been going on for the last so many years, 15 years. The BJP is in power in the MCD. Because they have not changed the land use, it's only for residential purposes. So all these shops will get cut shut. So now nobody is looking into actual problem, the crux of the matter. But everybody is looking for votes. That is the unfortunate part.
So what's the solution, viewers? The powers at play had better find it and better find it fast. Let me quickly introduce my panel that's joining me this evening. Now I have Neelam Krishnamurthy, President, Association of the Victims of Upar Fire; Sanjana Raju, spokesperson of the BJP; Dr. Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party; and S.K. Dheri, former Chief Fire Officer. Neelam, I'm going to come to you first because it appears now that this has become reminiscent of something that we discussed on this very channel 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately, even for us here at Mirror Now, or for me, it is awful to even hear about this. I cannot even imagine what you have to go through every time there is a tragedy like this in the national capital, but there appear to be no lessons learnt whatsoever.
Hello?
Go ahead, Neelam.
Hello, can I come in?
Yes, please go ahead.
I just lost. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's very unfortunate that just 2 weeks back we were discussing a fire tragedy where 43 people lost their life. And I've been going through the same thing for the last 23 years now. And the most unfortunate part of it is that no lessons have been learned, because it's a very simple thing. There is no deterrence in our country. These government officials who are there to check the illegalities, who are there to give the NOCs, it's a den of corruption of these government officials. For them, it only means how these people can earn more money. They're not bothered how many lives are being put at risk. Why can't these illegal activities be stopped? Why can't the illegal constructions be stopped? The day that happens, these people will stop making money. And we are talking about a corruption-free India. What are we talking about? Is there anybody who ever takes fire safety as seriously? No. We have a zero fire safety in our nation. There's absolutely nobody in any government, be it BJP, Congress or Aam Aadmi Party, who's ever taken fire safety as an issue. The only thing the government is good at ordering is an inquiry, and that inquiry report collects dust in a corner. That's all. It does nothing. You'll be surprised to know that an Upar fire tragedy happened. There was an inquiry which was ordered, and Naresh Kumar, who was the Deputy Commissioner of South Delhi, he conducted that inquiry in precisely 15 days, and he came out with a detailed inquiry report. That is the report which became the basis of our civil writ in the High Court. And the same recommendations that he had given were endorsed by the High Court and subsequently by the Supreme Court. So what are they going to do with these inquiry reports? Why don't they make them public? Why don't they dismiss these people, these government officials? Suspension enough is not enough. Unless some action is taken against all these erring officials, I'll tell you for sure, these tragedies will continue to occur and people will continue to die. Nobody is serious because these are ordinary poor people. Unless you find some VIPs dying in a big fire incident, only then will the government wake up and they will think of bringing in a new law, a more stringent law to deal with such fire tragedies. Sanjana. So that is what we really need. What is the need of the hour? Unless they bring out a new law, which I have been advocating for the last 10 years, where people dying in such large number in mass tragedies due to because this is not negligence. This is murder by willful negligence. So unless you treat them with a higher, you charge them under higher charges, nobody's ever going to learn. What happens in our cases? They only get charged under 304A and they get bail.
Okay, so Dr. Ajay Kumar
goes behind bars.
Dr. Ajay Kumar,
so we really need to bring about some change.
Okay, accepted. Dr. Ajay Kumar, does the AAP government have any seriousness when it comes to tackling tragedies like this? Because I mean, if Upar wasn't bad enough, or any of these fires, the Karol Bagh fire wasn't bad enough, we had Anaj Mandi happen. This is another disaster waiting to happen. I mean, first, there are show cause notices issued to illegal units. Instead of going ahead and just sealing them and shutting them down, the residents of Delhi don't care whether this one is running MCD, कि ये किसके jurisdiction, ये किसके नीचे or under आता है. They will turn to the government. And you're letting them down like this.
No. First of all, Anjana, look, I want to put some facts on your, right up front.
Okay.
If there is a lack of police presence in a particular area, you would obviously say that the Delhi police is not functioning, and the Delhi police functions under the government of India. Similarly, in these fires, you see these, you might, it's easy, and people will say, we don't want to politicize it, we don't want to do it, but there are certain handicaps the government of Delhi suffers from. The fact is that there are over 40 lakh residents, and all of these residential areas come under the municipal corporations. It's not under us in terms of the permit for the commercial license, to inspect whether any commercial activity is going on. It's not under us. So when and I request you to just give me a little time. When the residential area wants to take a commercial permission, the MCD has to give a certificate, and the MCD also verifies whether there is any commercial certificate or not. The Delhi Fire Service Department, which is under us, cannot verify 40 lakh people because that is how the governance system works. And I'll tell you where we are running short also. Where we have made mistakes, we'll accept it. But the fact is that the MCD, and I think Kirti Azad ji was saying that the MCD is a quagmire of corruption, and it has been giving permission and continuously. Now the government of Delhi is not in its jurisdiction. We can't even do it. And that is why this system was created. Now, the government of Delhi Anjana, can you hear me? Yeah, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you, Dr. Ajay.
Okay, sorry about that. So, yeah, good. So the government of Delhi responded immediately, 10 lakhs for the families. I know it's a tragedy, 1 lakh for treatment, because that's in our power. The Delhi Fire Services cannot give a certificate, because the only way for the Delhi Fire Services and the Delhi Fire Chief is on the panel is when the municipal corporation asks the resident if he wants to convert into a commercial area, they come for us to the Delhi service for permission. Now our control is in factory area. And if you see that there has been no fire in the factory area, the Anaj Mandi was a residential area again. There has been no fire in the commercial areas. Now, the report of the Anaj Mandi, and you can make that allegation that it was supposed to come out in 10 days. We accept that it has taken time because the number of witnesses are very large. And we need 10 more days to come out with it. That's a shortcoming we recognize. But the government of Delhi has done everything possible in what is in its control. Industrial area, ensuring the fire standards are kept correctly, we are doing our best. There is no incident like that. But the 95% of Delhi, which is the residential area, which is having this problem, is this with my political, opponents political opponent, the Bharatiya
Yeah,
Janata
we're going to
Party,
bring them in actually. We're going to bring them in actually because this is exactly.
And sack them.
No, because this is exactly what is happening to the national capital, the people of the national capital. When there is the issue of pollution, you are squabbling. When there is the issue of water, you are squabbling. When there is an issue of public health safety, you are squabbling again. Where does the resident go? Sancheta, there is no good issuing show cause notices to illegal units when actually there should be a crackdown. You should be shutting them down. The Delhi police should have been way more alert when it came to things like this after Anaj Mandi. How could they have missed this?
Sanjana, unless you acknowledge that there is a problem, there's no question about finding a solution. I have no hesitation in saying that there are shortcomings in the MCD, but I only wish that my colleague from the Aam Aadmi Party would have also said that there are many shortcomings in the Delhi government as well. This is about human lives that we're talking about. Whether a person leans to the left or the right, it really doesn't matter. And I would not want to indulge in that kind of a blame game. Let me just bring a couple of facts out there. We all live in Delhi. If you drive around Delhi, the one sight that sticks out is these kind of electric wires all over the city, which are an absolute hazard when it comes to fires. The Delhi government has the electricity under them. Why haven't any of these wires been removed? We've had this fire that took place, a massive fire where over 43 people died. He correctly and graciously pointed out the report hasn't come out and it will come in soon. I give him that. There perhaps are legitimate reasons for the delay. I don't want to get into that. I look forward to the report coming out. But what I would like to say very clearly here is the Labour Department comes under the Delhi government. The NOC from the Fire Department has to be given by the Delhi government. There is a huge amount of corruption that takes place there. There are many lacunas there. Why haven't they set their house in order? This is something that we acknowledge. I'll give you one concrete example when we talk about fire safety and how seriously we take that. whether it's our parliament, whether it's a North Block or South Block, there are many areas there which are not fire compliant, given the fact that these are very old buildings, some of them are heritage buildings, and there are a lot of bylaws which prevent us from constructing and changing the facade of the building. What has the central government done? We have immediately gone out saying that we have to revamp all of this. We have to look at creating a new vista. We've already come out with the RFP. The bids have already taken place.
Sancheta, I understand that. I understand that, Sancheta, but unfortunately, these are people who are poor. They're from marginalized communities. They're probably not even from Delhi. What you are talking about are places that anyway would have access to safety, would have the best services. We're talking about narrow lanes with one exit here, and people who are forced into this trade, who are not aware of any kind of negligent work conditions or anything like that. Isn't then not incumbent on the MCD to carry out checks in these areas to ensure that these commercial establishments are not running in residential areas?
Sanjana, just give me 30 seconds to answer your question, and then Dr. Kumar can come in. You will agree with me when I say that a majority of these areas, they are not getting the requisite NOCs that they require, whether they're from the labor department. Many of them are not even paying them minimum wage. They're not paying them all the legally mandated provisions that are there to ensure that all the laws are complied with. They have to be stopped. Now, that is not something that the central government can do. If a person is violating the labor laws, if they're violating pollution norms, this does not come under the central government. Yes, there are areas where the Delhi police needs to be more proactive and the MCD needs to be more proactive. I concede that. That's something that we will take and look into very seriously. But there are areas in which we have absolutely no jurisdiction, and we cannot come in an area where we have no authority to take any kind of action. So these are areas which have come directly under the state government, and I do hope that the Aam Aadmi Party can clearly tell us what is it that they have done. Why have these wires not been taken out? They're a huge safety hazard. Why are they hanging all over Delhi? You've had 5 years with a clear mandate. What stopped you from doing anything?
Okay. Now, before I come to you, Dr. Ajoy, I actually want to go to S.K. Dheri. He's been the former, Chief Fire Officer. Mr. Dheri, this kind of confusion really over governance, do you think that it has hampered the fire department in doing their jobs to their full capacity, and more importantly, also takes away from the safety or the quickness or, the swiftness in which you can actually conduct it? Because let's remember, in all of these areas, the link is common. It's got one exit, there are narrow lanes, it is an establishment that is running illegally.
Yeah, I agree what you're saying. Let me clarify. First of all, after every fire incident, there's a quarrel going on between inter-department by one department to the other department, blaming each other rather for that. And I think how long we can keep on blaming each other instead of finding a solution to solve the problem, The biggest problem is that all these areas which are congested or which are unplanned, they are all unauthorized areas, When you declare a colony overnight, as a legalized colony, where you do not have a fire tender movement passage also for them. And exactly in this godown also happened the same thing. It's almost about 50 square yards of plot where you have a ground floor is the godown, and upper 2-3 floors are basically for residents or for the people who are working in that godown. They sleep there only, And there's a common one entry oblique exit in the same, and which is again a steel door, which is closed in the evening. And once it's closed in the evening, they have stored even a gas cylinder also in the staircases. And once the fire breaks out, then there's an explosion, and with that, some people are even one of the fire service department chap also is injured in that, and he's hospitalized in that case. So the question is that we should not try to blame each other rather on this sort of issue. We should find out a solution to each problem, because this is not first time it is happening. It is happening for years and years together, I had been at least hearing it for last about 60 years, that the redevelopment is taking place in old Wall City area, and this is a new colony which has come up, this is a new colony which has come up. If you keep on adding colonies without having a consultation with the fire service, can we approve this colony for regularization purposes? Does it meet your requirement of fire tender movement and things like that? There's nothing like that, you know. So if decisions are taken like this, then the things are going to happen like this only.
Okay, so then let me put it this way, because you know Mr. Dheri over there, he pointed out about all the cases that need to be looked at on a case-on-case basis, where you actually have to look at, you know, taking compliance, taking requisite permissions. But Dr. Ajoy, let me look at earlier cases. What has the AAP government done? What has the state government done when it came to the Anaj Mandi case? What action has happened in the Karol Bagh case? What action has happened in the Arpit Palace case? Nothing has moved forward. The accused are all out on bail. You have still managed to arrest only 3 people in the Anaj Mandi case.
Now, again, Anjana, the question again is, the police now, much as we would like to be, you know, controlling the police, the arrest and all comes under the police. But my, my colleague from the Bharatiya Janata Party, madam was saying that what has the Aam Aadmi Party done and etc. I'm coming to the basic, you see, Anjana, you know, your viewers and you all are very well informed. The basic issue is, she kept saying about Labour Department and this department. The basic issue comes with the certification of whether a place is commercial or not. Now, I can keep screaming and going blue and blaming BJP and all, but the fact is that all the residential areas in Delhi, if they want to set up a commercial enterprise, regular or irregular colony, have to approach the municipal corporation for the approval. Only then the municipal corporation says get Labour Department approval, get Fire Department approval, etc. Now, you can blame us for everything, like, you know, you might say the wires are causing it and all, but where I have a control, my control is in the industrial areas. And you see the industrial area, the fire department is doing a thorough inspection, and those incidences, and God, we pray to God that nothing untoward happens, but it's been, I think nothing untoward will happen, and it's been going on okay. Now, you can't predict the future, but I'm just saying that. So, the arrest happens under the police. So, the Aam Aadmi Party department can only come with a blue paper saying this is the issues. But it is important for the residents of Delhi to understand that there is something called, it's a venal setup called the municipal corporation headed by my political opponents, who continuously, why isn't there an inspection of all commercial enterprises in the colonies of Delhi? All colonies which are having houses, we are running commercial enterprise. Why isn't the municipal corporation done a drive every time there is a fire? So all these things have continued to happen. The easiest thing was for the municipal corporation to shut all commercial enterprises in the residential areas. Then nothing like that will happen, at least in the residential areas. So you can blame me, wires are hanging, we will fix that up. There are some issues on it, and we respect that what she said. But the wires didn't cause it. The fire happened, and then the gas cylinder caught fire, and then it blew off. But the root cause is the corruption in the prevention is for the municipal corporation, which is Bharatiya Janata Party headed, to do a drive and close all commercial enterprises in Delhi in any residential colony. That will be the biggest service they can do, and my political opponent, I'll request madam to go and tell the BJP to please do that, and we'll help them, we'll work with them.
Would you like to respond to that, Sancheta?
You know, nowhere in the world do they say that you have to stop all commercial activity in residential areas. When you have unrealistic rules, that's when illegal activities start. What we need is planned development. I don't agree with, if they feel so strongly that you should stop all commercial activity in residential areas, that should be part of the manifesto. Let them go to the people of Delhi. The elections are round the corner. Let them go and say they're going to stop all commercial activity in residential areas. The fact is there are certain hazardous activities, certain industrial activities which cause pollution, which which cannot happen in areas which are residential. But Delhi has largely had unplanned growth with a large population that we have. We have to also have realistic laws. I mean, you cannot have a law which people are going to flout day in and day out, and all that you're going to do is increase the kind of corruption that takes place. Yes, we need now one of the steps that we've taken. Just a minute, sir, let me complete and then you may come in. Just now, we have announced that the unauthorized colonies which have been there in Delhi, where more than 40 lakh people reside, we have decided to regularize them, ensure that they get access to basic amenities. The fact is they're living in subhuman conditions, and you correctly said that most of the cases, these fires take place in some of the backward areas of Delhi, where you have a high density of population living in very inhuman conditions. Now, unless we start the process of ensuring that they get access to basic amenities and redevelopment takes place there, we will not be addressing the root cause of this problem. There is a multiplicity of authorities, but at the end of the day, if you are sitting in the Chief Minister's chair, it is up to you to take the lead and ensure that there is proper coordination. At the end of the day,
this is
the
exactly
MCD's money.
Sanjana,
Just a minute, Sanjana, two more seconds,
okay.
then you can ask me my question. MCD certainly is governed by the BJP, but our funds are released by the center via the Delhi government. Why is it that most of our funds have been sat on? We haven't got the funds released for the longest of time, and many times we've even gone on protest, but it's fallen to deaf ears. So, it's very easy to pass the buck. I have no hesitation in saying that this has been a collective failure of all of us.
Anjana,
we've all had our role to play, but to blame the MCD and say that the Delhi government has done a fantastic job and deserves to be patted on the back is something that is
no, absolutely not. I don't think anybody is saying that. Dr. Joy, really quickly, I'd like to go to Neelam as well. Go ahead.
No, I'll just say something. Look, each of us have to play a role. Now, I'm not saying you close all commercial enterprises, but why don't you go and ensure that no commercial enterprise is running in residential area without a permit? That's all we are saying. Now, because the process of permit requires certain XY steps, ensuring fire hazard, etc., corridor, escape, exit, etc., it will prevent it. So, Sanjana ji, as a political opponent, but also a political colleague on the other side, why don't you get the MCD to just do that? And we will do our part, and agree with you. But question is, there are certain things we can do. I can't tell you that I'll improve the law and order in Delhi. It's not under me. But I can definitely say that I can make sure that the fire service department never gives a wrong license, and that's my responsibility as the government in Delhi, our government in Delhi, to ensure that. So those are things we'll do. We would love to work with the MCD. In fact, they come forward and tell us we would love to do it. But certain things, Sanjana, I want you to say that certain things, the structure of Delhi and the governance model makes it very responsible as far as residential area fire goes.
Yes, but I mean, but because of that, people cannot continue to suffer. Neelam Krishnamurthy, you have been fighting this for years. Do you see any kind of change? Do you see any kind of commitment? Do you see any kind of seriousness? Neelam Krishnamurthy, one second. Sure, understood. But let me ask Dr. Joy. Dr. Joy, let me ask a citizen of Delhi. Let me ask a citizen of Delhi. Let them be the judge. Sorry, Dr. Joy, let me ask a citizen of Delhi. Let me ask Neelam Krishnamurthy. She has been fighting this tooth and nail since 97.
Okay, sorry.
One would imagine that the state government would actually take these things seriously, knowing that this is the infrastructure of Delhi, this is what we're dealing with, and likely even the central government should have moved swiftly. I can't for the life of me understand why only 3 people have been arrested and been sent to judicial custody in the Anaj Mandi fire. 44 people have died. Neelam Krishnamurthy, go ahead.
No, it's a matter of great shame that these politicians come on the channel and first of all, they start that blame game. We are not responsible. MCD is under BJP. We are only doing DFS. Why can't there be a collective effort? The entire effort should be how can we stop these fire incidents? How can we save lives? It is not about scoring brownie points. What are they trying to do? Are they absolutely insensitive? All of them. That's all I can say. For all the political parties, they have to understand what is the plight of these victims. What are the families going to do? With the bread earners, losing their life, how are they going to survive? For them, it's just about gaining, they regularize the illegal colonies without seeing whether there are provisions or no. That's very important. But that's only for them. It is a matter of votes. So let them not start thinking about themselves. Let them think about ordinary citizens of this, Delhi. That is what is required. So I think unless the people themselves come and demand fire safety, nothing is going to change in this country. And unfortunately, fire safety remains zero in our country. Nobody ever talks about fire safety. It's very unfortunate. Have you ever seen any political party talking about fire safety? They are talking about Aam Aadmi Party. In the DFS, they had only about 1,500 people as employed. I had to move the Delhi High Court. It was only when the Delhi High Court gave them instruction, they've employed 500 more people. And then they said, we are going to take another 500 on temporary, contractual basis, which they still haven't done. So they failed, because unless they have the full capacity of about 3,200 people, how are they going to go and do the checks? How are they going to give the NOCs? So they don't want to come and accept their own failures. They want to come and blame others. So, and the MCD, we all know how corrupt MCD is all about. If MCD wasn't corrupt, we would not have all these illegal structures all over in Delhi. So let's not let BJP not come and defend MCD. We all know how corrupt MCD is all over. So the thing is, how you're going to set your house in order, that is what is important, and nobody is going to do anything about it. Today, MCD is with BJP, so they're defending it. Suppose tomorrow MCD is with Aam Aadmi Party, they'll be defending it. It'll be no different. It's just that they want to come, it's a blame game, and this will go on and on for years. I've seen it happening for decades. I won't be surprised if it go for another decade or another decade, unless the people in this country become vigilant and start demanding fire safety.
Okay,
that is what is really required.
So SK Dairy,
let there be a campaign on fire safety from media.
Absolutely, why not? SK Dairy, if I were to ask you on both sides here, we have the MCD, we have the Delhi police, we have the fire department, we have the labor department, we have the state government. What are all the things that each agency could have done to prevent a tragedy like this taking place? Because we all cannot get lost in governance, in sarkari license chahiye, NOC chahiye, running from pillar to post like this. People are dying every day.
I agree. What you're saying is 100% correct, because the time has come when the government has to draw a long-term, short-term plan for ensuring that there is no fire incident unnecessarily and nobody loses his life in such incidents, For that purposes, they have to put together, that first of all, unauthorized construction have to stop, illegal change of occupancy have to go. Similarly, the fire services people have to be properly geared up so that they are in a position to reach every nook and corner of the city within about 3 to 5 minutes time. And then the electrical wiring, etc., has to improve drastically, and the passages are to be made available in each colony for the fire service movement. Having said all these points, if they are attended, I am 100% sure even accidents will continue to happen, but people may not die and there may not be a major disaster like fire.
Okay, so then in that case, why isn't the police doing a better job of law and order than Sancheta? It's not like these fires are uncommon, especially in these areas. In the Anaj Mandi fire, in the same area, there was a fire on Saturday. The Anaj Mandi fire happened on a Sunday morning.
As far as the Delhi police is concerned and law and order is concerned, if you look at what has happened in the Anaj Mandi, where 43 people have lost their lives, the police could not have, it was the fire department that had to come in. And the fact is there was not adequate space for them to come in. Many of the people lost their lives there because of suffocation. As far as what happened then, the police did file a case against under section 304 and 285. People were arrested. The investigation is ongoing. But I agree with you when you say that you would like an expeditious result. But unfortunately, the judiciary does take its time, and investigation is something that is ongoing. The police, unfortunately, cannot come in and prevent the fire from taking place. Especially the fire department doesn't look at, how the fire NOCs are given out. I'm not going to get into an AAP versus a BJP here. The one positive suggestion that I had, and this is something that the BJP had given to the Aam Aadmi Party, is why don't you call a special session of the assembly and let us discuss this? What is stopping the Aam Aadmi Party and the Honorable Chief Minister for calling for a special session?
No,
This is something
I'm
that
not
concerns
for a
every
minute.
citizen.
I'm not for a minute implying that the Delhi police are actually going to stop or douse these fires. But what I am implying is that perhaps there can be a swiftness when it comes to investigation and probe. The people responsible for the Arpit Palace fire are out on bail. There are only 3 people who have been arrested in the Anaj Mandi fire. 1 factory owner and 2 managers. Not a single MCD authority has been questioned. Not a single Labour Department person has been questioned. And officials are always off the hook. Is the AAP and the BJP seriously trying to sit here and tell me that none of them are responsible for what's happening?
No. I'm not saying that for a moment. It doesn't matter if they're part of the BJP
Sanjana,
or any other political party. If there is anybody who's found responsible, it doesn't matter who you are. The law will take its own course and you will have to face the consequences of the law. I don't want to get into this specific case because then if I say that the owner is somebody who is closely associated with the Aam Aadmi Party, my colleague from the Aam Aadmi Party will be up in arms. So I'm not going to get into all of that. Let the investigation go on. Whoever you are, whether you're part of the BJP, you're part of the Aam Aadmi Party, or part of whichever political party, however high and mighty you may be, if you are caused the fire or are responsible for this in any way, you will have to face the consequences of the law. Let me say that with no ifs and buts, very clearly out there for people to, this is an assurance that the BJP is giving.
All right. Okay. Dr. Ajay, you've been waiting very patiently to come in. Go ahead.
No, the first question is from my BJP colleague. I request her, not to make wild allegations that it may be from Aam Aadmi Party supporter and all. We don't know who it can happen in anyone's houses, so let's leave that apart. But and I take a very important suggestion given by my fellow colleague on the panel that the 3,200 is the vacancy in Delhi Fire Services. We have filled up. We filled up 500 after she moved it, and those are issues which we need to tackle, and we respect her view, and those are things we can. So we are not pushing the can and saying that we need to make sure that the fire services have got all the manpower, and that's a responsibility we take, and we will definitely work on it, and we take your feedback on it. But the issue is if the Delhi police has gone after all the officials who were responsible for ensuring no commercial activity, and this is before Aam Aadmi Party, this is before Delhi government, before BJP. The fact is that the Delhi police, which is under the government, has to do his job and start arresting, because one government official gets arrested. I'm saying that the municipal the councillors, municipal corporation may be very venal and corrupt and all, that's given. But if you arrest a government official, and I think today's debate is the right way to do it, because if there's a government official willy-nilly ensuring that there were monthly haftas paid to them to ensure a commercial activity continued without a permit, most of the problems in this country will start getting solved, because 90% of the time it's the government official on the ground it's the lane, then the neta may be involved, may be giving protection, then please arrest him. But the Delhi police arresting only the people of the manager and the other people and not the officials. So my request to my political colleague here, my political opponent is to Madam, please tell Delhi police to start investigating from your side. You're told about special session, now the elections are on, so I don't think the special session is the thing, but the fire service manpower filling up is the correct idea. But the most important is Delhi government, and we would request you to take action on it. And it would help everybody. One government official, believe me, if you go after the government official, and Mirror now can do a show on identifying these government officials who are responsible
Dr. Ajay, we actually have.
Commercial or
we have been doing that. We have been identifying each person.
Fantastic. No,
each person has, and that's why we're posing the questions. No, and that's exactly why we're posing the questions, but we're not getting any answers. There's only a bitter blame game that is ensuing. Otherwise, these narrow lanes are crowded, they are left empty, but all of a sudden when there's a fire, there is no place. There is no place for the fire engine, also because it is narrow, but also because suddenly every political leader and every person, the who's who wants to be seen in that area, showing that they suddenly care about these people who are dying. Neelam Krishnamurthy, go ahead.
You know, it's so ironic that all of these politicians come and say one thing, the law will take its own course. And they all know law will do nothing. And I need to say this here, please give me a minute. Because it is only in the Bhar fire tragedy that a government official of the rank of Delhi fire, who was in the Delhi fire service was convicted. Even the courts come down very lightly on them. He was convicted and he was allowed to walk free by paying a fine of 10 lakh rupees for a trauma center in Delhi. Everybody knows about Ansals paying 30 crore because they had money. So now you tell me what message has gone down? All the government officials will keep 10 lakh rupees aside, all those corrupt officials, and they say, let me continue giving NOCs. If at all I ever get convicted, even till the Supreme Court, all I need to do is pay this 10 lakh rupees. So what message has gone down? Why is it so difficult? I think we all know all these MCD officials, this police wala, they're all on haftas. Is it so difficult to crack down on them? Unfortunately, there is no will, there is no political will to come down heavily on these corrupt officials because it suits all of them. They want them to continue with the illegal activities. They want them to continue because they are the ones who are giving them protection. And politicians are only interested in, winning the elections. That is their interest. The government officials are interested in making money. So where is the deterrence in our country? Please tell me that. Give me one wing which really wants to perform, be it a department, be it DFS, be it MCD, be it Delhi Police, be it licensing. Nobody wants to perform. Everybody is interested in making money.
Okay.
Why can't we call a spade a spade? And everybody knows it, let me tell you that. But nobody has the guts to come and say it.
Okay, Dr. Joy, before I come to you,
Can any of them deny this?
Okay, so I'm sorry to cut you off there, but we're getting in some callers. I'd like to open our calling lines. Our numbers are flashing on the screen. I have Anand joining me from Delhi. Good evening. Thank you so much for calling on Mirror Now. Go ahead.
Good evening, madam. I just wanted to make a point. Hello.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I just was seeing for last half an hour to 45 minutes this discussion, whatever is going on in Mirror Now.
Okay.
Like fire safety is paramount important in any building. Now comes to the responsibility who takes care of it.
Okay.
Now, if you see the number of people who take care of the governance part of it, which makes very important thing in any governance of fire safety. Now, coming to number of officers NCD as in Delhi, number of officers fire department as in Delhi, and number of officers the police department as in Delhi,
okay,
and number of officers labor department as in Delhi. I'm not going to the fifth concern, what you spoke about, the building owners. Building owners are commercial people. They will go for buy money only. I'm not into that. I want to remove that one part of it, what 5 angles you showed. In these 4 angles, where it is government people who are involved, I'll see NCD and police as the number of officers more, as well as number of people more.
Right.
It is their responsibility to take care of the governance part more than these 2 people. Labor department, I'll bet, I don't know. I'm a citizen of, I'm from Chennai, not from Delhi. I don't know how many labor department officers are there in Delhi. It will not be more than 3 to 4 who check all these things. Fire department, in each area, 1 department, 1 officer will be there. But in each area, at least 10 police stations are there. At least 2 to 3 NCDs are there.
Okay.
It is their responsibility to do the governance. I'm not talking about that who takes care of the responsibility of what happened today or what happened.
But who takes care of the people of the national capital? That is important, and that's exactly what we've been saying, Dr. Ajoy and Sancheta, that the people of Delhi, the people otherwise don't understand that the MCD comes under the BJP. Aam Aadmi Party will look after only this. Fire department is only under this person. We don't understand that. Nobody would understand that.
Anjana.
Let me 1 second, Dr. Ajoy. Dr. Ajoy, just let me open the calling lines to a few more people. Then you can come in. I have Dr. Satur joining me from Hubli. Go ahead. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on The Last Word. Go ahead.
Hi, ma'am. Good evening.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, madam. Good evening. Yeah, ma'am. Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just would like to point out basic things. Being a doctor, we always tell for a good health, you should eat well and do exercise. Like that in this country, ma'am, where is the accountability? There is absolutely no accountability at any level. सब कुछ चलता है. Corruption is in our genes. Nobody wants to stop it. If a person like Modi ji wants to stop it, they want to politicize it. The basic problem in India is we don't have patriotism. So all this goes on. You can see, I'm seeing the video, madam, you are showing. How can this industry be there for the last so many years? It is not BJP. It is not Congress. I'm not talking of any government. I'm not talking of Modi ji as a BJP. Please don't mistake me. There was Narsingh Rao also in Congress. He was a great guy, did a good job. Nehru, to some extent, did a good job, whatever be their background. But the whole thing is, it's getting worse. People are caught, they are easily left off. The police don't get the FIRs taken. There is an anarchy, madam. This is going too wrong. This is going to be extremely difficult for anybody who comes.
Right.
Caste is a major issue. Now see with the CAA, they have brought in a caste. And the ministers in charge are telling, okay, come, we will discuss.
Okay,
This is not going to affect Muslims.
Okay. This appears to be a common grouse across all citizens from really all states. I have last caller joining us on the phone line, Babu Rao joining us from Delhi. Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us on The Last Word. Go ahead.
Good evening, Sanjana. I am Babu Rao from Bangalore. Okay. And thank you for calling, and I appreciate Mirror
Sorry, from Bangalore. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Ma'am, I think Dr. Sattu spoke enough about what exactly is the bane of the problem. This is not just limited to Delhi. This is across the city. We allow all kinds of construction, and then under the table, you garb of whatever permission you get, and then it gets constructed. Basically, it comes to reforms at the top. Police reforms, recruiting the right people, and when people are dying for jobs, I at least request government to really look at what kind of people need to be recruited, trained, and at least make one model city, maybe one city where the governance is clean, the police department is clean, the fire department is clean,
correct,
and there is no unauthorized construction, and then regularizing those construction after 10 years for getting the...
Right. So Dr. Ajoy, I think the requests, the demands really of residents across the board in every city that you go to are pretty much the same, and they're quite basic and they're quite standard really. So it is unfortunate that a lot of that gets lost in political blame game and, governance.
No, look, I know that, people will say that politicians, and I feel very sad when, people make a broader statement. The Aam Aadmi Party government, with all its, achievements or shortcomings, we have tried to do our best to give an honest governance. Now, they may be saying that, look, we didn't do so many things, and there'll be a lot of people criticizing it. But the fact is that wherever we could bring about an honest interaction with the interaction with the government, and how we brought it was, like you've seen, the home delivery of services. We reduced the role of the government on that. So those are things we have taken as at steps. Now the larger issue that people at MCD are corrupt, this is corrupt, that is corrupt. I don't want to get into that in why it happens in India or why it is, because it's the strangest thing that we have even elected people like that Unnao rape guy and Gopal Khanda and all those kinds of guys get elected also. So my issue is that the only way to stop this is to make sure that the governance process is transparent and you hold people accountable. And I agree that the people of Delhi are caught in this horn between MCD and all. I really wish that we had a single opportunity to govern all these structures of deliveries of service. You'll be surprised, there are lots of roads in the colony which is not under us. We can't even repair it. I don't know if you know that the street lights which we have put across Delhi, we could not put it in MCD area because the MCD areas, they refused to let us put street lights. Now, we can't come on national, but we still found a way out by putting it in the campus. No, I'll just complete, Anjana, just a second.
Yes.
The 2 lakh street lights which Mr. Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party gave could not be put on the street because the MCDs were refusing to let us do it. But despite all those challenges, we are doing it. But the only way is to make a system transparent. Make all the application of house permits transparent. And I agree with the speakers. Why should you have a RTI? Every file should be put on it. And we are trying to do it as an Aam Aadmi Party government, but those are governance issues. We hope that we will fix it, but what's in our response? The people of Delhi cannot distinguish between MCD and Delhi government.
Okay.
But,
so that.
But I want you to leave with certain things, and I'll just finish.
So then perhaps.
I'll just finish with the last thing.
Okay.
That however much you might criticize, or somebody might say, I'm saying, we reduce the interaction of the government officials' corruption in whichever services we could provide. Now, nobody can say that we didn't do that. Now, are we a bunch of young professionals trying to do our best to do it? Yes. And you might say Mr. Modi or XYZ or not, I'm not interested in that. But I definitely believe that the Aam Aadmi Party has given a very, very honest and transparent government in Delhi, and that nobody can deny it.
Fine. Okay, but taken. But perhaps the AAP and the AAP and the centre. I'm sorry, Dr. Ajoy, Sancheta. The AAP and the centre actually need to keep their differences aside when it comes to pollution, when it comes to water, when it comes to fires, when it comes to actually caring about the people that live in the national capital. Fires are common across India because of a poor record that we have for workplace safety standards and just sheer negligence in the enforcement of building regulations. But instead of acknowledging it, all we do is engage in blame game. Let years go by and do nothing, only to mourn the loss of more lives in another tragedy that could have been averted. This is unfortunate and must change soon. Thank you so much to my panel and my viewers for joining us this evening.